It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield-Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Howdy, howdy. Good morning to you. Here we are on Friday, everybody. We made it to Friday. Happy Friday, and let's do a little news.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild story. 24 firefighters, I should say, and one worker at the Tyson Foods plant in Berryville, Arkansas, had to be treated for chemical burns while fighting a fire at the plant. All of them are expected to fully recover. They will be okay, but get this, the chemicals in the plant were actually breaking down their firefighting gear.
Whoa.
Which is just really crazy. Like while they were battling the blaze, they recognized that the gear was being broken down. So apparently those chemicals are used to clean the food processing equipment.
Wow.
Yikes.
That's heavy duty.
Anyway, that's heavy duty. And what's really wild is the amount of chemicals that you think, heavy duty chemicals enough to break down a firefighter's uniform that are around our food. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. I was reading a different report on the boar's head recall. Remember that 10 people were killed due to the lunch meat company, which is not in our area, but of course we can buy boar's head. Anyway, they apparently needed some chemicals because the USDA's report on them was filthy. So it's like, okay, good. Well, at least Tyson is cleaning their equipment. But whoa, the chemicals are enough to break down a firefighter's uniform.
Yeah, that's shocking. That's hard to believe. And
now,
you
obviously,
hope,
they would say, well, the chemicals are not on the food. It's cleaning the equipment.
You hope
My
it's
point
on
is
the residue is not left on the equipment. That then gets onto the food. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they're called caustic soda beads. CAUSTIC. And apparently it's a very common cleaner for food plants.
All right.
Woo. Okay. A woman from Nixa will spend 12 years behind bars for setting a fire to a house on purpose. There were 3 people inside at the time. All of them were able to get out safely. Authorities say the woman poured gasoline on the floor and then on some laundry and then set a bag of Takis chips on fire. And then it spread to the gasoline and just took off in flames. 44-year-old Patricia Williams was arrested on scene in August of 2023 at that house on North Weller in Springfield. Still no word on why she did this or exactly what the relationship was, or even if there was a relationship between her and the homeowners.
Everybody got out?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody got out. Yeah, I saw that she set chips on fire and then threw the chips onto the gas, and they tested chips like as part of the investigation. They set a lighter or whatever they did to some Takis, and indeed they can hold a flame.
Yeah.
So
it's the craziest thing because it was like the story that you and I were talking about recently with Oreos. Like they were trying to burn an Oreo. This was on Instagram. I have not verified this. I have no idea, but I was watching an Instagram video of them like trying to burn an Oreo and it wouldn't burn. And I was like, that's disgusting. Like I feel like my food should burn.
Yeah. Well, the corn and Takis does apparently.
Apparently it does. Or the grease, one of the two.
A new grant from the Lilly Endowment will help Evangel University and the Assemblies of God Theological Seminary help rural churches. $7.5 million grant. It's just the latest one, too. Will fund efforts to develop educational resources, internships, and kind of help to fill the holes that rural churches often have. This is Evangel's 5th grant from the Lilly Endowment. The total is now up to about $15 million. So, man, the Lilly Endowment is giving away some cash.
Yeah, it's awesome.
To help the Evangel and the AG Theological Seminary. Meanwhile, OTC, we call it Ozarks Tech, right? That's what they want us to call it?
Yeah, Ozarks Tech. In fact, yesterday I was at Walmart and I saw a lady who was also in the grocery aisle with an Ozarks Tech shirt on. And it made me smile. I feel like it's catching on.
She bought
in. Ethan needs to buy in still. I'm there, just for
Yeah.
the record.
Well, I wanted to say it. I just had to make sure that was right. At any rate, Ozarks Tech got some money as well, $5.5 million from the Department of Labor to beef up its healthcare education training. That money will create healthcare education pathways for high school students, underemployed or unemployed people, and people who want to advance their careers in healthcare. Ozarks Tech estimates about 3,500 students will be trained to help meet area workforce needs within the next 4 years. And I know that has been something that's been badly needed
Hmm.
a decade or so. And they've been talking about the growing crisis of not enough medical workers. So good for Ozarks Tech. Chick-fil-A, good for Springfield. Chick-fil-A is getting a Chick-fil-A number 6 in Springfield. Not too far from the new Target that's going in West Springfield along West Sunshine and West Bypass. So it's going to be right there in that area that we've been talking about for, I don't know, a decade, that we thought that it was going to be really developed. And it's
Hmm.
kind of been a slow go. They put in, they got a Ross over there, and
There's a lot of stuff over there now. I mean,
no.
there's like an Ulta and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know everything. Burlington, I think, and
Yeah,
a bunch
Burlington.
of stores. Yeah. So it's really, I don't know,
Well,
taking
those have been
off.
there for a few years, so there's not been a whole lot lately. But now the Target's going in, and Chick-fil-A number 6, which is expected to open later this year at the earliest, possibly next year. But they can put those things up pretty quick these days.
Yeah.
And that'd be two of those things on Sunshine, not too far from each other, maybe 5 miles apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably about.
That's good for me over at Convoy because I can get to it quickly.
There you go. How quickly can you get to Chick-fil-A? On Monday, you can take part in the Martin Luther King Jr. March. Steps off at 8:30 on Monday morning, starting at the Bright Speed Ice Park. That is, I don't know why I said Brightwood, Bright Speed Ice Park on East Traffic Way. The march will travel over the Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge to the Gilloys Theater. A program also will take place after the march. And the NAACP is collecting socks and hats and gloves and coats and all things warm for the unsheltered, along with any financial donations. So drop those off at the ice park before you head out for the march.
That's cool. And I think they're going to be needed on Monday because we got some cold weather, is my understanding, coming in this weekend. It's going to be here for a while. So make sure you stick around for Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer, our friend. She'll tell you about just how cold it's going to be. But
yes,
my
it's supposed to be
understanding,
cold. Yes,
gonna
Monday
be cold.
morning for the march will definitely be cold. Also on that day, I've been looking at the weather in Washington, D.C. because the Missouri State Pride Marching Band is going to be there performing in the parade before the presidential inauguration. And it, too, is going to be freezing cold. So lots of outdoor activities and some
That's on
hot
Monday, isn't
hands
it?
needed.
It's
That's on
January
Monday
20th.
morning
I
as
w-
well. Yep.
I was thinking it was going to be on Tuesday for some reason, but I'm looking at the calendar now, and yeah, it's Monday.
Yep.
The inauguration. Interesting.
Yes.
Tournament of Champions continues. Day 1 got off without any problems. First game tipping off today at 4:30 in the p.m. Last game of the day starting at 9:30 in the p.m. So if you're interested in high school basketball, some of the best teams in the country, honestly, some of the best players in the country will be there. You want to get over to the Tournament of Champions on the Missouri State University campus, Great Southern Bank Arena. And I would like to personally thank the Chevy dealers of the Ozarks for setting me up with picks. How about that?
That's cool.
Us, I should
Okay.
say.
Listen, can you hear me
Thank you,
clearly?
Chevy
Because you
dealers
cut
of the
out when you
Ozarks.
said that. Yes, there you go. Chevy dealers of the Ozarks. Yay. Thank you.
Oh,
Ethan,
yeah,
I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but you cut out
I can.
right when you said that.
Oh, is that right? I would want to thank the Chevy dealers of the Ozarks. I stopped by there and picked up some tickets. They were kind enough to offer me some. So going to the TOC yet again.
Yep. That's awesome.
Be fun.
Okay. Finally, this weekend, it is Eagle Days, and that is happening at the Conservation Center. There at the Nature Center, and it is free for all ages. It is eagle watching. We told you that they are on their way to Missouri to nest because it's cold outside and they can still find food in our waterways. So it is such a good time to go see all the eagles. Bring your binoculars. You can, have some equipment from the conservation department, but also if you want your own, bring your binoculars, bring your camera, and head out and take a look, because they're going to be doing demonstrations there at the Nature Center. You can learn a lot about eagles. Kids can take part. Also, the Dickerson Park Zoo is going to have some eagles there. It's a great time of learning. And you were gone, Ethan, but Diana was telling us that it is a family tradition for them.
Oh,
and
cool.
That's tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 to 5. The last program begins at 3.
I do love seeing eagles. Where were we where we saw a ton of eagles? Well, was that Alaska? I guess we were in Alaska. We saw a bunch.
In Alaska. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
you know what? I know what it was. We were down, Griffin and I, last summer, were down on Taneycomo, staying at a camp there, and I saw the coolest thing. We were out on the dock on the river or the lake. It looks like a river. It's a lake. And Griffin was, of course, fishing, and there was an eagle that flew, and then we saw it nosedive, grab a fish, and take back off again. And I clapped. I clapped to celebrate the eagle,
to congratulate the eagle.
I felt like America had done something right in that moment, and I just felt my patriotism rise, and I applauded the eagle. But so did some other people.
Yeah.
So we almost sang "God Bless America" right there.
You should have. America the Beautiful would have been very
America
appropriate.
the Beautiful. Yeah,
very appropriate.
It was fantastic. It was really cool.
Okay.
So, hope you get to see that this weekend.
There you go. Take a look. Yeah. Also some stuff going on at the Springfield Boathouse as well. So between those two places, there should be a sight to see. Okay. Happy weekend, and hope you enjoy it. We will see you back here Monday morning.
Yes, we will. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. You are waking up on Friday, January 17th to temperatures that are chilly, but it could be worse. Let me tell you, oftentimes in January, it's a whole lot colder than what we're seeing this morning, which is the mid 30s, even above the freezing point in many locations today. And that is right on course with the rest of the day today. It's the warmest day of the work week, with highs making their way to the mid 50s for the central portion of the Ozarks, and areas to the south could even be in the upper 50s today. Now, this is kind of a one-day warm-up in the 50s because a cold front arrives again late tonight. That's going to allow for much colder air for the weekend. So my message to you on this Friday is to enjoy the warmer temperatures. It does come with some breezy conditions, winds out of the south, gusting over 30 miles an hour. So it will be breezy at times, and I am expecting the warm conditions to stick around for the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures will be making it back into the 50s before a cold front gets here late tonight. I think that frontal boundary passes through the Springfield area just shortly after midnight. Not ahead of it. We will have some rain in the forecast. It's not a lot. And there may even be enough moisture left around while the cold air is still in place that we could see a few snow flurries on Saturday morning. I don't think this is a big impact event for the Ozarks. I'm not really expecting measurable snow, but elevated surfaces could see a light dusting if a few snowflakes are squeezed out behind that cold front that gets here late tonight into early tomorrow morning. And again, that's going to be dependent on if we have any moisture left. I think the bigger story is that the best rain chances are for the eastern Ozarks today, east of Highway 65, and it's not a whole lot of rain. We're talking maybe 1/4 of an inch at best in our far eastern counties. Everybody else, maybe a few tenths of an inch. That's about all you can hope for with this one. It's not going to be this downfall, soaking rain, but with the snow pack still in the area, count that in melting snow, the rain showers, the warmer temperatures will be melting some snow. I'm expecting the roadways to be very wet. It will also be breezy today, so keep that in mind as well, with the chance for rain increasing after about 4 o'clock today. Tonight, temperatures will fall back and there will be a range. I think we're going back into the 20s, so definitely cold enough to snow, but falling temperatures behind these gusty winds, and north wind is going to kick in behind that cold front, and boy, howdy, are we going to notice the difference behind that frontal boundary. We will likely see temperatures tumble, and by Sunday, it's just going to be downright frigid here in the Ozarks. As I mentioned, a few snowflakes may mix in with the rainfall Friday night into early Saturday morning, but no accumulation or impact is expected because of that wintry weather. Really, I think it's just more of a, temperature is dropping enough for the wintry weather to develop, but we won't have a whole lot of moisture left while the Arctic air arrives for the weekend. Speaking of, it is not just Arctic air. I mean, this is dangerous cold for the weekend. High temperatures could remain in the teens on Sunday. Wind chill value could be sub-zero. It will be incredibly cold on Monday, too, for Martin Luther King Day. Temperature is expected to be in the upper teens and low 20s. Wind chill factor is going to be something. Strong winds out of the north. So keep that in mind. If you're looking ahead for the weekend, you do not want to make outdoor plans. In fact, we're going to be thinking about protecting some of those vulnerable populations in this type of cold because it is just too cold for anybody to be outdoors. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, it's some good news finally for portions of Southern California, and that is that those Santa Ana winds have died down a bit, allowing for better mitigation for some of the fires going on out there. Also, Arctic air is arriving for the northern plains today, and snowfall is also expected for portions of the central Appalachians. So, big time snowfall across the Ozarks not across the Ozarks, across the country. And I think winter weather is going to be one of those headlines that we see across the country over the next week or so, because it's not just us that's going to be seeing the cooler temperatures. It is much of the lower 48 states. So just kind of a heads up for you there. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. And the question that I had for you yesterday, here it is. Janus is the Roman god of what? The options were A, war, B, fire, C, prosperity, or D, beginnings and endings. Well, if you know the root of this, it is D, beginnings and endings. And this is actually how we got the name January, from Janus. Janus is the god of beginnings and endings, transitions, and doorways. He is often depicted with two faces, one looking forward and one looking backward in Roman mythology. The month of January is named after Janus because it begins the year. That makes sense. New beginnings every time January rolls around. All right, here's your question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. What is the flower for the month of January? Do you think that is A, the carnation, B, lily of the valley, C, marigold, or D, aster? No Googling. That takes all of the fun out of it, but just submit your best guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. And thank you so much to our sponsors this morning, Command Family Medicine and John's Heating and Air. Thank you for listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. I'm Abby Dyer, and I hope you enjoy the 50s before that rain arrives late tonight. Grab an umbrella. You'll want that if you're going to be out late in the day. Eastern counties have the best chance for rain, and that cold air arrives for the weekend. So make some indoor plans this weekend. We'll chat again early Monday morning.